All right, we're going to look at the review for ellipses. What is the center of the following equation? When I'm looking for the center, I'm just looking at those two sets of parentheses up there. It's very similar to what a circle is. So my center on this ellipse is -3, +4. On the next question, it says, what is the center of this equation? Well, we know that this is an ellipse. It's just written in general form, so we have to rewrite it in a way that we can just tell what the center is. So let's get our x's together. 4x squared minus 8x plus 9y squared minus 18y. I'm gonna go ahead and take that constant to the other side. We're gonna end up completing the square a couple times, just like we do with circles. And for my x's, I can factor out a 4. I'm left with x squared minus 2x. I'm going to leave a little space so that we can complete the square here in a second. 9y squared minus 2y, leave a little space, equals 311. So all I did was factor a 4 out of these two x values and then a 9 out of these two y values. I left a little space, kind of forward thinking, so that we can complete the square here in a second. So completing the square, half of -2 is -1. -1 squared is +1. And I didn't just add 1 to this side of the equation, I ended up adding 4, so I'm going to add 4 over here. And half of -2 is -1. -1 squared is +1. I didn't just add 1 to this side of the equation, I added 9. So 311 plus 4 plus 9 is 324, I think. That's convenient. And right here we're going to factor. What two numbers add together to give me -2 and multiply to give me +1? -1 and -1. So I'd be left with 4 times x minus 1 squared plus 9 times, two numbers that add together give me -2, multiply together to give me +1, -1 again. And we can tell what the center is right now, but let's just keep going, write it all the way in standard form. So I'm going to divide by 324 all the way through, and that'll give me x minus 1 squared over 81 plus y minus 1 squared over 36 equals 1. And we can tell that the center is going to be 1, 1. When I'm asked to find the vertices of something like this, I generally graph this thing. So my center is going to be at -5, +1. So -5, +1 is my center. I'm going to go left and right 2. And up and down 8 to graph this thing. And my vertices are on the major axis, so that would be, something like that. And my vertices would be on the major axis, that's the tall and skinny one in this case. So that would be -5, 9, and -5, -7. -5, -7, and -5, 9. Okay. On number 4, it's asking me for the co-vertices. So like up here, these were the vertices. These would be the co-vertices, the shorter on the minor axis. So let's graph this thing. The center is going to be at 0, 0. And I'm going to go left and right 10. And up and down 6. So my graph, this is going to be terrible. Oh, not too bad. My co-vertices would be on the minor axis. So in this case, it's vertical. It's squished this way. So it's going to be at 0, 6 and 0, -6. Let's look at the back side. So it says, what are the foci in the following equation? So we have to graph this thing to kind of look at where our foci are. Let's write it in standard form so that we can graph it. This looks like a pain. All right, 16x squared plus 128x and plus 25y squared plus 200y equals negative 256. Took that constant to the other side, just like I did on number 2, I think. And I'm going to factor out a 16 right here. So 16x squared, I think that's 8. 8x, leave a little space, plus 25y squared plus, I think that's 8 as well, equals negative 256. And we're going to complete the square. So this half of 8 is 4. 4 squared goes right there. That's 16. And I didn't just add 16 over here. I added 16 times 16. So that's going to be plus 256. And right here, half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. I didn't just add 16 over here. I added 25 times 16. So 25 times 16 is 400. So we got to add 400 over to this side. And once I factor, I've got 16, two numbers that add together to give me 8 and multiply together to give me 16. Right there. X plus 4 squared. And then 25, two numbers that add together to give me 8, multiply together to give me 16. Y plus 4 squared equals 400. And let's divide by 400 all the way through so we can get it in standard form. And I think 16 times 25 is 4. Yeah, so this is going to be x plus 4 squared over 25 plus y plus 4 squared over 16. And that will equal 1. And all right, so end goal, we got to find the foci, and let's graph this thing. So let's just not forget to find that when we're done. All right, center is going to be at -4 down here. And I'm going to go left and right 5. And up and down 4. So it's going to look something like this. The major axis is horizontal in this case. And that's important because when I find my foci, I'm going to count out on the major axis. So in order to find how many I count, I say c squared equals a squared minus b squared. And that will just be 25 minus 16. So that's 9. That means c equals plus or minus 3. So I'm going to start at the center and count 1, 2, 3 that way, and then 1, 2, 3 that way for my foci. So that would be at -7, -4, and -1, -4. All right. Given the following information, we need to write an equation. I always find it easiest to graph these things, just kind of eyeball them. So we have vertices at -6, 0, and 6, 0. And then covertices at 0, 2, and 0, -2. So we could draw the ellipse. It's centered at 0, 0. That'd be the midpoint of both of those. So let's just start with this. X squared and y squared. You could write x minus 0 squared and y minus 0 squared, same thing. And how far did you go left and right? Well, you started at 0 and then you went 6. So that means you got to write 36 under there. How far did you go up and down? Well, I went up 2 and down 2, so that would be 4 right there. And similarly on this one, let's graph it. So I've got 0, 5 up here and 0, -5, and 3, 0, and -3, 0. And once again, it's centered at 0, 0. And left and right, we went 3, so that would be 9, up and down 5, so this is 25. All right, over here, our directions are just to sketch a graph of the ellipse. This one says it's a horizontal one, so it's short and fat, short and obese. Short and obese, please forgive me. 0, 5 is right here, center, and then since it's short and obese, that means I'm going to count left and right 4, and then up and down 2, as opposed to the other direction, because then it would be tall and skinny. If it had said a vertical ellipse, then I would have done that. I would have counted up and down 4 and left and right 2. All right, I've got a center at -3, +4 right there. And I'm going to count left and right 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and up and down 5. Like that. Not my best, not my worst. Lastly, center is going to be at 1, 3, right there. And I'm going to count left and right 7. So that means it would be right there and right there. And up and down 4. So 1 right there and 1 right there.